Hey, I'm back. This is Chandler for Melda Production, and today I want to show you how you can create a halo style delay, kind of like what Andy Timmons does inside MGuitararchitect. Now, I'm not only going to show you how to do it, but I'm going to show you how you can save it as kind of a, I don't know, kind of a device or maybe a modular preset. So that way you can adjust it and you can use this multiple times in any of your projects you like, and you don't have to make it from scratch. So let's get started. So this is the basic guitar sound I have here. That's all I have. I apologize, these strings on my guitar are pretty old. I just got back, so I'm a little bit jet lagged too, so bear with me here. So what we have here is just this basic sound, and what I want to do next is I just want to add some delay here, but not just a normal delay like you see around here. What I want to do is add a modular. I'm going to use the G modular here. I think I showed this before in another video, and this is actually taking up lots of room, so what I'm going to do is just move this over and pop this out. So this is going to go in here, and we can add just the first delay in here, like this. Now you could use one of the other delays, like in here, M turbo delay. That'd probably be even better, but I know some people don't have that, so let's just stick with this. So we have this delay here. What I want to do is I want to take this dry all the way down here, so that way we're just going to get the wet signal, like this. Probably can't even hear me playing that. If I turn it up, you'll hear like that. So I want to turn that down, and I'm going to sync this up. You don't have to do this, but I think this might be good. So I'll set this first one for a quarter note. But then we're going to add another one in here, and that's going to be our, I guess, eighth note, dotted eighth note. But this one is a little bit weird, so I would recommend using this quarter, let's see, dotted quarter note. So this is just the quarter note. And this is the dotted quarter note. Now you're seeing like, hey, that's faster. This is a little bit messed up. So this is actually a dotted eighth note, but that's why it's in there. But what I want to do with this second one here, with this dotted eighth note or dotted quarter note here, is I want to make sure this dries on. If I don't, it's just going to be a really long delay. Like that, which I don't want. So I want to let the dry through, which in this case will be the first delay through here, like this. So you get that kind of like rhythmic thing. Now we can control how much of is going through here by using this wet dry. So if I set this at 50%. So you can hear everything that's going on through there. That sounds pretty good. Now, one thing I might notice here is, okay, well, one thing I don't like is the volume is really different, even though it's 50%. So you see like the input and output are really different. So what I might want to do is just bring this output up. You don't have to go crazy. Just try to make the output and input somewhat similar. That way it's easier to hear. You don't have to do that, but I like to do it. So now that we have that, we'll look for some of the other things that we have in there besides just this sound. So one of the main things to make this kind of warmer is you want to EQ out some of the highs and lows. So we're going to use this EQ7. We'll move this up around, say 100 or so to get rid of some of the muddiness. And let's move this down to maybe 300 or 3000 or so. So this is going to cut out all the highs and lows and make it warmer, hopefully. So to me, that's sounding warmer, which is good. That's what we want. So hopefully we have this closer to what we want. You probably want to adjust this down. Like in a real setting, I'd probably move it around here, like around 30 wetness, 30%. Okay, so if that's sounding good, we're doing a pretty good job here. And the next thing, or one of the last things I want to do is add in some vibrato. Now, what this is going to do is create kind of like a chorused sound. So here it is, vibrato here. I'm going to set the rate to, I like it around like 7 something, or 0.7 something. Turn this to mono, and I'll move the depth. Let's leave it there now, around 50, so you can hear what it does, like this. Now, I certainly can use this for stereo, but I actually prefer using one of these delays here. If I move the stereo here, it'll make it a lot wider. So this is without. I think it still sounds good. You get the halo effect. But if I move this like this, now we're getting some real stereo. So we're really getting that sound kind of like enveloping us, which is what we want, or at least what I want. So now that we have this and think everything's sounding pretty good, hopefully, just get that nice rhythmic tone. What you might want to do with this is you kind of want to save it and you want to make this a little bit adjustable. So let's go and use the multi-parameters to kind of adjust this and make this something we can use over and over again. So I'm just going to use Quick Learn here, go to the wet dry, boom. Here it's set, I can leave it at 50. I probably want to move that down, but as just a starting parameter, it's okay. The next thing I want to do is let's set the delay times. I'm going to leave this synced, you don't have to, but I'm going to do it here. This quarter note, the default value, hopefully, perfect. I'm going to, since this is called length, it's a little bit ambiguous, so I'm going to set this as delay 1 length, copy that, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing to the second one. Quick learn, boom, there we go. I'll set this as delay 2 length. As I move that, you see it's not really synced up the way it should be, so just move this over, do the same thing here, so you should have the right settings as the defaults. I can also go here and I can use the stereo here, Quick Learn, boom. Got stereo in there. All this is looking good. Oh, another thing I want to do is probably the feedback. I'll do clear and learn for this. Feedback all the way up and down. Feedback up and down there. Didn't mean to do that. I'll label this feedback. And I have this going all the way to 100, but actually I don't need that for this. For this type of delay sound, you don't even need it at 100. So I'll have it from 0 to 90%, and I'll use the first parameter's range here. So if I set the feedback low, it sounds like this. Make sure if I move it all the way up, see, that's a lot. That's more than enough. So the other things I might want to do is the EQ here. So I'll just use Quick Learn, high pass filter there. And I'll probably set this maybe 100 for, actually, here. Yeah, it's all the way there. Full range. So I'll set it as 100 as the default. There. And I can do the same thing with the other one, Quick Learn here. Set this at 3000 for the default. And now you can adjust these however you want for a really bright one like this, or something darker like this. And finally, last but not least, let's use the depth and rate controls. There's depth and rate. Set default at about 0.7. There we go. And so when I play this, it should just sound like what we had before. And it's sounding all right. We can move the stereo up if we want. And also with this, we can easily adjust the delay. So if you think instead of a quarter note going into a dotted eighth, I can do the opposite. So dotted eighth, move this down to quarter note, and we have the opposite. So if you like that, you can definitely do that. Set it back at the defaults here. Actually, I might set the depth at 0 for this. Not everybody wants some chorus on there, or vibrato in this case. So now that we have this, all we have to do is just save it. I'm going to save mine in the, where's that made? I made this before, FX chains, delays, in here. So I'll just call this Halo delay. And now you can just pull this up and use this whenever you want. And it's really easy to adjust these. So assuming you have a tempo that's somewhat similar, you can just leave everything as it is. Maybe just adjust the wet and dry to whatever you want. And it's perfect. So I think this is a pretty good way to get a really interesting and nice delay sound without much work. I mean, I would probably just pull this up and just, let me just pull this back to like 30 something and be done with it. And of course, if you want to, like maybe I need a clean sound, I might turn up the depth or change the rate a little bit. But I think with this, there's not too much to do really. It's really fast and easy to adjust it. So you can use this with a clean tone like this. Or if I wanted like something dirtier, I could just turn down the depth and use the same thing if I have some distortion on there. So a lot of adjustability and just a really good solid sound. So if you like this, give me a thumbs up, leave me any questions or comments down below, and be sure to check out all the other plugins at meldaproduction.com. Till next time, see you.